Hey, what's going on, guys? Tony here, CCxRC, and today we're going to be doing the first run with the CEN Annihilator, the HL150 Hyper Lube truck, 1/10 scale, 4-wheel drive. It's got the sway bars front and rear already installed, 8 shocks around. So each wheel has 2 shocks, pretty cool. And I've raced these, played with them when CEN had brought them to the different Showtime and No Limit. And so in here, we're running a 2-cell Venom LiPo. It is a 50C battery. I'll show you real quick what we're running. Chose this because I run Venom batteries. This is a 2S LiPo capable truck, and it fits in here perfectly. And I have the connector to go over to the Deans on this particular battery as a 2S. So everything is box stock. I have not even switched it over to the high gearing, which is internal. You don't have to buy anything. You just have to open up the gearbox and flip a couple gears, which I have a video on doing it with the B50 by CEN, which is basically the exact same truck, but a different body. Let's go ahead and see how it performs out here. Wheels up. All right, so I can already tell definitely slower than my B50, which does have the high gear. These are a bit of a bouncy truck. I know that. I'm comfortable with it. I have a lot of fun with it, actually. Handles well, but again, this is a brushed system in here, brush motor, completely stock gearing. And I will say that this handles a lot better than the B50 did when I first got it, because that only had the, it didn't have sway bars. So this is already awesome in comparison as a first run. The B50 does come with sway bars now. I just had a pre-release version, and they've since created these sway kits that are actually pretty fantastic. So it's handling pretty good. I haven't rolled it yet. You can roll it. I just have learned to drive it. You can see it getting on 2 wheels there. So I let off a little bit, kind of like my Stampede. I let off to turn a little bit, not that much. That's just because I was trying to turn around for the ramp. Oh, nice slap wheelie out. So again, this is a solid axle monster truck. It's a little bit, it's going to be different than a Stampede or something like that, which does have independent suspension. I really like the scaleness of the solid axle trucks. I do like the tire sets that these come with. They do not have foam in them, but it almost acts a little bit like suspension, kind of like a clodbuster. And you can do 2-wheel driving with these. I will say you can bicycle these. Which is not something I can say for any of my other trucks, which is actually something I love to do with these, is to run them in that bicycle mode. Get it up on the 2 wheels. It's not as easy as you'd think, and out here where it's really bumpy, it'd be really tough. And I don't think I would really be able to have the wheel speed right now in the lower gear. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch this over to high gear. You kind of see how this is doing. This is full throttle pretty much most of the time. Nothing to write home about. Oh, first rollover. And so with that, we will take it over to the table, and I'm going to go switch out the gear. I do have a video showing how it's done. It's really not too difficult, but you do have to remove a few things in order to get to it. So out of the box, these trucks aren't super fast. But when you put that optional gearing in, it's amazing how fast it is on 2S. And all you have to do is remove a few screws, take out the gears, and swap them around. All right, so now we have it in the high gear. Oh, I can already tell. Big speed difference. We're gonna be rolling it more now. Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit more rollovers. A little bit more difficulty in the air as well, because we're just gonna be going higher and bouncing more at higher speed. One of the things we'll be working on with this truck is finding out how to get it to not bounce so much. I think part of it is, as cool as the 8 shocks are, I think it just makes it overly stiff. So these are tough trucks, so they'll take a pretty good beating, but it is bouncing off of the landings. And with the extra speed, it's a little bit harder to control. So I got a question from somebody in Facebook messages asking about the steering returning back to center being slow. And it definitely is on the table. And when you're not driving, it's noticeable. I was trying to slowly bring it to us. So, like here, the steering's off, and see how it doesn't return to center? You have to kind of tell it. It's really working the steering servo or saver, but you'll notice it returns to center for me when I'm driving, when I release. So it's a little slow, yeah, but it does return to center. Just to answer the questions people have asked, you can see it's just a slower servo. None of the servos that come in almost any ready to run are something to write home about. So you definitely, it takes a little bit more control when it has the high-speed gearing in. Trying to get my steering trim set. It's not, I don't know if I didn't put the you have to detach the steering, and I don't know if I put it into the same spot it was in before, so the steering's a little off. So now I'm just trying to tune that in, but a little bit easier to manage in the lower speed for sure. Not undoable in the high speed, but it does like to roll or go 2 steer. Or 2 wheel, not 2 steer, it's always 2 steer. But it likes to get up on the 2 wheels like that. That has to do with a couple things. It's a narrow wheelbase. It's also a fairly short wheelbase. And so that does play into it. But it may have something to do with the tires too, not having foams in them. They might be giving a little bit as it's turning and gripping and biting a little bit. I'm not sure. It's okay in the dirt, but in the grass especially, it's very high bite. Oof. We're testing the durability of these axles. You can just see it bounce, and that back end kicks up with the bumps I have in the yard. So just need to find a way to soften up the suspension some. I think that's going to go a long way for this truck. It'll probably even help it handle better when you're turning. So probably go down to 4 shocks instead of 8. That'll be number 1. Then we'll look at what kind of oil we have in here. Just change it out, because I don't know what it comes with stock. And we'll see if we can't make it a little bit more competitive. You know, widening up the stance would definitely help. And I know that at the No Limit race, they did have some longer axles that they were trying out. So it'll be interesting to see if those come to market. That would be one of the first things I would buy for this truck, would be longer axle extensions. And what they did is they didn't just do hub extensions, they actually made longer plastic pieces and then longer axles as well inside. Because when you do the hub extenders, it's very easy to strip off or break off the axle right at the threaded part where you put the wheel on. Happens with the axial AR60 ones. It happens, I'm sure it would happen with this. So I'm a little bit leery to put any huge tires on this because of that. You need to have extenders to get it away from the body, because the way that these axles mount up in here, they are pretty far out. They're not tucked into the middle of the wheel, so you'd have to have, either your tires would have to have the ability to have different offsets like the J Concepts. I'm sure the J Concepts 2.2s would fit on here all right, especially with the longer wheel extender on there. But that's not extending the hub. Not the same way, at least. So, anyway, yeah, these are fun little trucks. Really durable and tough for the money. For a solid axle, they're a ton of fun. A lot faster than like an SMT10 was out of the box. Especially when you put it in the high gear here. And that's running 2S. So it does decent speeds. I have speed tests with the B50 running on 2S. And man, if you don't land this thing flat, the suspension is not forgiving. And those are fairly decent jumps. It's forgiving there. But when you're going off some of these kickers and you land it a little bit off, see, it's fine if you land it flat or a little bit on the front. You don't want to land on the rear wheels, that's for sure. Now we're talking. Just got to find the rhythm. See, rear wheels and flips. So again, I had raced these. My name got pulled out of the drawings to race these at the No Limit World Finals. They were doing their little in-between show that CEN was putting on, and I won my qualifying heat. Got to move on to the final, but I knew to just kind of let up right at the jumps and in the corners. The handle's just a little bit different, and if you can be off it on landing like that, it'll do all right. So you just kind of got to learn how to jump them. Uh-oh. Couldn't get it in reverse. I don't know that mine's programmed to do reverse. Might not be. Have to adjust that next time I take the body off. Just switch a little pin on there if you want to have reverse. Getting really good battery time, that's for sure. Because we ran it first with the low pinion, or the low gear. Now we're in high gear. Maybe it's just that I'm doing a lot of walking. Yeah, it does not forgive you if you land rears first. But if you land flatter front tires first, the way that it slaps down, you're all right. So you just have to let go of the throttle early off your jump, and you'll be all right. Ugh. But I'm definitely impressed with the speed that this runs at 2S. Nobody wants to have a slow monster truck. Battery is done. Alright guys, so that's the first run with the Hyperlube Annihilator. We did run it for you with both the low speed gearing and the high speed gearing, and I'll have a video for you showing you how to change that gearing. It takes about 30 minutes, and I'm going to leave most of the video running, so it'll be about a 25 to 30 minute video, but it'll run you through step by step what you got to do to switch it to high gear if you want to have that extra speed from this thing. But I do love these trucks. They're pretty durable. You know, we get a quick look over here. I landed on those axles pretty hard. right on the front end a couple times and no issues up there. They're well built. The gearing inside of these is all metal gears, so you have some tough diffs and tough internal transmission. So I give these a thumbs up. You guys know I've been running the B50. I've actually run one of these, not this particular one, but the ones that they were racing at the Solid Axle Showdown and at the No Limit World Finals at Digger's Dungeon. And so I've had a lot of wheel time with these, and I think they're really, really fun trucks. So especially for the price point, guys, around 300 bucks, just over 300 bucks, it's pretty tough to beat, and they're just a lot of fun. So we look forward to some of the upgrades that CEN has been talking about and that they're working on, and we'll be seeing some different tires on here. We're going to try the new Duratrax munitions on, see if they'll fit on here, and if they don't need wheel extenders or anything like that, then that would be awesome. So just still playing with this, trying to figure out exactly how we want it set up. But I think next time you see it run, we're going to have different shocks on it and different weight oil in here just to see if we can get it to soften up the landings a little bit. So thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, if you like this content you see here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, crush the bell, ding that thing. It'll alert you whenever we have new content coming, and you'll be the first to know. So thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, have fun RCing. Catch you next time. Oh, the battery's so dead.